Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Jungkook and the song that was never sung, Love Buried Under the Notes. In a world inhabited by pop gods, where stage lights embrace skin and the roar of cheers disguises itself as solace, there is one star who chooses to tell his story through silence. His name is Jungkook. He is not just an idol, but the guardian of a symphony that has never been heard by the world. Not because his song is not finished, but because the song is too sacred for a world that is busy clapping its hands. That night, the sky did not rain but sent a signal. A short video appeared on Weverse, without an introduction, without being greeted by an algorithm. 5 minutes of silence that felt like feeling the pulse of the universe. There, it was not the legendary Jungkook who appeared, but a man in a black hoodie, red eyes that could not be hidden by filters, and a voice that sounded more like a spiritual song than a human confession. "I wanna be honest," he said quietly, like reading a prayer that was not worthy of being said out loud. "I loved her. And I hid that love, because I was afraid the world would destroy it." The sentence was not an explosion. It was like a fog. Slow, but it enveloped everything. It was not a name. It was not a face that was sought. Because this love was no ordinary love. It was a comet. Fleeting. Bright. And leaving a lifelong mark. She heard my voice before I learned to speak. She caught me even when I didn't know I was falling. And we know. The song is a grave. Each lyric is a flower petal. And the notes are hugs that were never given. Army is silent. No theory can fully explain this. Some mention names from the past. Some link to the myth of sunshine, a shadow that was once mentioned and then forgotten by the world. But not Jungkook. "She asked me to love her through a song if the world doesn't let me hold her," Jungkook says. "And I wrote. Until my hands trembled. Until my voice ran out." After that, the world no longer heard Jungkook. It began to listen to him. "Still with you" now feels like a mantra. "My you" is a window into another world. And every time he sings, we don't just hear a voice, we feel an invisible presence. HYBE stayed silent. The BTS members disappeared from the media for a week. But there were whispers. Jimin cried in a corner of his room. Jin sent a letter that was never read to the public. And Suga wrote an instrumental that was never released. But the spotlight was no longer on anyone. It was on how love could be so quiet and yet so powerful. At a concert for 10 seconds before the encore, all the lights went out. It was dark. And in that darkness, Jungkook uttered a single sentence, almost inaudibly. "If you're still among the stars, this song is still yours." Not everyone heard it. But those who did never forgot it. Fans created a new ritual. Blue paper birds were flown every Jungkook's birthday, containing messages for those who had passed away. They called it Sky Letters, and sang it in whispers. In one documentary, a crew member whispers the truth. That white envelope was always in her bag. Never opened. Never thrown away. And now we understand. Some songs aren't meant to be heard. Some loves aren't meant to be owned. They're meant to be remembered. Jungkook never mentioned a name. But he's written one of the most sacred love stories in pop history. The story of someone who can't be touched, but lives in every echo. And we, the listeners, aren't just witnesses. We're keepers. Keepers of a song that was never sung on stage, but lives on in hearts that know what it means to lose. This love, Jungkook says, will never have an end. Because it never really began. But I'm still here. Singing. For you. For us. For the night that never ends. And since that night, the world no longer sees Jungkook as just a star. He has become a kind of gatekeeper between sound and silence, between memory and reality. He is not just a singer, he is a connector of lost souls, a poet without verses, a plucker of strings from a dimension that can only be touched by feelings. Behind the camera, he said not much has changed. He still laughs. He still greets. But those who have looked into his eyes know, there is a calmer sea, and deeper than before. One night, on a small radio owned by an old fan in Busan, the nameless song played for 5 seconds. There were no lyrics. Just the sound of breathing. A small sigh like someone reading a name that must not be said. "Is that the song?" The radio owner asked. No one answered. Because some stories don't need confirmation. They just need to be allowed to settle and grow into legends. And in that legend, Jungkook is not a man who lost. He is a man who chose to love in silence. Now his fans are not waiting for new songs. They listened to the wind, read the constellations, and wrote letters to the night sky. They knew this kind of love doesn't die. It just changes form. Maybe one day on the loneliest stage under the softest light, Jungkook will sing it, that song. A song that was never sung. A song written from tears on the skin of the night. And maybe, only those who have truly lost will fully understand its lyrics. Because the truth is, true love isn't about possessing. It's about continuing to sing, even when no one is listening. And of all the songs the world has ever written, only one has no ending. A song that was never heard. A song that was kept. For one soul. In one night. That will never end.